How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode and live stream here on Let's Build Twitter. As always, I'm Ethan, or an encoder. If you guys are interested in getting access to the private repository, there's a video in the description down below that outlines exactly how to do that. If you don't have the money or you just don't want to support that way, you can also just like, comment, and subscribe. That's also a great way to support. Everything is appreciated. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into what we worked on last episode and kind of talk about what we want to work on this episode. So we hop back into Twitter. We actually worked on this, so we can pop this up, and then this has the reply, and then we need to go ahead and add in the part where we can actually write in the write in the reply itself. So that's what we need to work on today. Today is kind of like the refactoring day, because what I want to go ahead and do is I want to come in here and I want to go into our feed post creator, and I want to be able to pull out this area. So the area that has the, I guess that we don't really need this, but I want to be able to pull out the, we don't need audience drop down, but this part in the text area. So I want to kind of group these together. That way we can reuse this, and we'll have to basically figure out a way to keep track of the state. And I also want to be able to pull this area, so the icons, because the Twitter actually also has icons as well. And this is going to be interesting, except this shouldn't be too bad because all these are just these basically. And then we can keep the button itself. The submit cluster can stay. Actually, we might want to bring the submit cluster just because I do actually think, yeah, I think that we end up needing this because there is like an icon that keeps track of how many. So if I hop onto Twitter really quick and take a look at this, I think there is an icon that basically shows how many characters you have left. My computer's been really slow today. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if I have a bad version of Windows 11, have a virus, or what's going on, but I literally just rebuilt it, so I don't know what to do with my computer is. Solely waiting for Twitter to load. But the goal for today basically is to be able to get this to a point where we can actually, I guess, make a reply, kind of refactor all this. I don't know if Twitter is going to load or not. I don't know what's going on with it. Imagine if it's down. Okay, there we go. Slowly loading. Let me find a text post. Here we go. So if we reply to this, and maybe we should, well, I don't know what we're going to do about the height of it, but yeah, basically we need the reply area, and if we type in it, it does show the little icon that circles and everything. So this will be interesting. So let's go ahead and I guess let's start working on this. I'm not worried about this. We can just bring in the feed post creator PIP or whatever. But we also don't need this. What I am worried about is this right here. So I'm trying to think what we want to do here. I mean, we already have all these feed post creator things. I'm trying to think how we want to do this. I don't want to refactor too much, but I know I'm going to use it in like create reply. So maybe we do this in here, make a new folder, and we'll call this create post, and we're going to call this text area maybe. Okay, make a new file, create post text area.tsx. That was a pretty loud thunder outside. Hopefully I don't lose internet or anything. Let's move this down, and then we'll make a new file, create post text area, .css. Okay, so basically what I want to take is, let me see. So we could have images so we might need to deal with that. Actually, this will be fine. We can just recreate this. This isn't gonna hurt anything. And pull will also not hurt anything because we're just gonna show something depending on whether or not there's images or whatnot, so that's fine. Trying to think of what else I might want to do. And if I do want to go ahead and just use we might also just be able to straight up use the feed post. The only thing is we'll have to be able to set whether or not it's a post or a reply, but I don't think that'll be too bad. So let's go ahead and make this. So import React from React, and we'll kind of figure out how we're going to go from here. Export const create post text area react.fc. Make this an arrow function. We might need to pass in like a dispatch function or something. Maybe not, I don't know. I think if we do go with the post slice, it'll be pretty easy, and then we can just switch out what button it is, and we can add things depending on that. So let's see. So let's go ahead and return a div, the class name equal to create post text area, and we're gonna have to go and dig through CSS and all of this stuff, so it's not gonna be very fun, but we'll figure it out. So now in our feed post creator, we don't need this guy. We do probably want this in this text area, so I'm just gonna copy this. And I think this is all I'm really worried about for this, because again, we can deal with this, we can deal with this, we can literally bring this over. That's not going to hurt anything. And I guess let's just see what happens. So bring this in here, paste that in there. So we need state, obviously. So let's go ahead and import. We're going to use selector, and we're going to need use dispatch because we're going to do both. So that also means that we need to import our app dispatch and our root state. Okay. We'll also need to bring in our dispatchers and stuff, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and const, and we just call it the state. So const state is equal to use selector. And this will be, whoops, do this. State, root state. And it looks like we just returned state. Maybe, because it says state.post. So I guess we'll leave that as is. Also, let me go and pop out the chat really quick, just in case anyone does decide to chat today. Sometimes people chat, sometimes they don't, and it crashed. Terrific. All right, so we need to import this guy, so we can go and import him from our emoji utils. That's fine. And then we have an active. Okay, so this one is, I guess we're gonna need to pass this in. So we can go ahead and do that. So we can say interface, and we'll say create post test area props. And this will have an active. And what we'll have here is a Boolean. And then we can go ahead and bring this in here. So create post, this should be text, not test. Text area props, text area props. And who knows, maybe this will be easier than I expect. But I expect this is going to be a lot of trial and error and testing. So there's that. So now we need text area ref. So let's go ahead and bring in use ref. We might also need some state in here. We'll see. So use ref. We'll say const, and this is text area ref is equal to use ref. And I forget how to do this. So let's go back into our feed post creator. And I might just yoink it out of here. Let's see. Ooh, active is yucky. Okay. Text area ref. Let's just copy this, and we can clean up the other one later. So there's our text area ref. And then we need auto grow. So auto grow, I think I'm fine with having here. So let's go ahead and grab the whole auto grow. And it's not very big, so it's okay. Make sure this end of it, cool. Let's grab auto grow and paste it in here. I think I'm fine with that being here. And then now we have an issue with set post content and then dispatch current post. So let's go ahead and deal with that. So now we need to set up our dispatch. So const dispatch equal to use dispatch and make this an app dispatch. Oops, app dispatch. Okay, and I'm thinking maybe we also pass in where this is coming from. So we could say like is reply or something, and this can be a boolean, and then maybe this could help us set up whether or not we need to set the reply tag inside of the post whenever we send it off or whatever. So this can help us keep track of the type of post. And we'll have to, I guess, actually what this can do, we probably don't actually need this now that I think about it, because it's going to be, I think it's just something we put in the postman request. I don't think it actually matters whether or not we actually have this inside the post object itself. So I'm going to get rid of this. We don't need this. Cool. So now we need to set post content, update current post. So we can go ahead and update this. That's fine. And set post content. So we need to use state. So let's grab use state. And yeah, I guess that's probably fine. The only issue is this. So all we're doing is, do we really need to have post content, or can we just base this all off of our state itself? Although the only issue that I might see is that if we're making a reply, it might start posting inside the feed post creator. Right? Because I'm curious now, because feed post creator is going to show the content inside of this guy. So if we scroll to feed post creator, because that's the value in here. The value is equal to this. So that could be an issue. So we might instead want to do this based off of the content that's inside this component itself. That way we don't get mixed up. So I might we might not dispatch the content until it's time to actually like create the post maybe. So we might just like hold it in here, which kind of defeats the purpose of the other thing. The other thing I could do is check to see if it's a reply or not, but still, I don't know if I love that idea. So let's just see what we can figure out with this, and we'll fix it up. So I'm not gonna update this on auto grow. I am going to, so that means we probably don't need the app dispatch. So let's get rid of the app dispatch. We will need a state though. So const, and we'll say post content and set post content equal to use state. And this will be a string, and it'll start out as empty. Okay, so now I'm trying to think. Although I think active is based off of, so this is where things are complicated, because active is going to be based off of whether or not there's content inside of the post. So then we might need to think, although it might not matter, because I think it's still gonna be based per. Let's just see what happens and we'll debug the problem when we get there. So let's undo this. So let's go ahead and set up the use state. So const, and this will be post content, and set post content equal to use state string, and this will set up like this. The thing is do we really need the post content, or can we just, I think that's what I was going for. So I guess we don't need the use state. Let's clear this out. So we're just gonna get rid of this post content. We can still do this text area ref and get the current area. We can still dispatch. Excuse me. And then here, instead of doing this, we'll just say, is there a current post? If there is, we'll get the current post content. Let's see. Can we say, well, otherwise we'll just do this. We'll just have an empty string. So we don't have any content in the current post. We'll just show an empty string. That's completely fine. And this should hopefully fix up some of the issues with this whole thing. Also, I do want to take a peek at this. So right now, active is a function that that makes dependencies change on every render. The fixes wrap this definition in its own use callback hook. Okay, we could do that. So this is setting a post, setting active to true. If we're not active, okay, so if we're not active, we just create a new post basically. Okay, I don't know why that's an issue. Maybe it's this part, I'm not sure. I've never used a use callback before. So let's see what happens if we do that. So let's come in here and use callback. And we can say use callback equal activate equal to use callback. And I'm guessing we do something like this. I've never used this before, so I have no idea. No. Expected 2 arguments, but got 1. Does nothing when called only 1 argument. Did you forget to pass array dependencies? Never used use callback. I'll do some more research on that. But yeah, activate is going to just activate and focus. I think focus is the bigger thing that this does. And then initialize post just passes in a post with no content. The author that's logged in, that's fine. Okay. So let's come down here, and then this is where things will get different based on whether or not it's a post or reply. So if we come into here, although we probably want to deal with this, and I don't think activate's gonna work. Well, I guess it might still have an ID, but this might not work. So activate might need to come into this. Activate might need to come also into where we were working, just because this seems like something that is going to focus on the specific component, right? So let's see. Is active only So set active here whenever we submit it, and handle get images. Although I don't think this ever actually worked. The set active false. Determine full. Okay, so here active shows up this, or this one shows no matter what. So yeah, I guess, but when we click on it, we could, instead of the activate doing the blur, we could do the blur or the focus inside of it probably. But anyway, so we can probably get rid of this and just bring in that create post test area. Or I spelled this wrong. I had to have spelled this wrong. Yep, okay. Text area. Create post text area, and this brings in active, I think, equal to active. Should be an active. I think that's all we bring in right now. Now, this is going to be super scuffed because we don't have CSS, I don't think. Or it's just going to be the same because it's still picking up the old CSS. I would like to move the CSS over. Although activate is not working because, or active is not working because it should be showing this top one. So it should be showing, oh, you know what? I deleted too much. Let me undo this. So I just wanted to delete this part. All right. Create post text area, active equal to active. There we go. Try that. There we go. That's how it's supposed to look. Cool. So for now it's working just because of the fact that the CSS is still coming over because it's on this. Now, of course, CSS won't work because, or whenever we put it on the other one, the reply body, so we'll have to deal with that. So now I'm trying to think. So active, although it's still focusing on it, probably because it still has that ID, right? So I'm thinking that whenever we activate, maybe we go ahead and bring this in here. Bring this in here. Whenever we activate, we focus on like the current element or whatever. So I'm going to take this out of here and bring it into our create post text area. And whenever we click, so maybe we have an on click on this. So we click anywhere inside here. We'll call activate. And let's set up activate. We could do a focus, but I'd rather do this const activate. And this will be e react.mouse event on a HTML div element. We'll do this. And how do we want to do this? I guess it won't matter because we're going to be clicking specifically on this. So we can literally just say if this, then do this. And I think that'll be perfectly fine. And come back in here. We got rid of that. So let's see if we refresh this. Does this still work? Yes, it focused it. Now, the thing is whenever we submit, it's supposed to unfocus, but I don't think that ever worked anyway. So, well, that was something we need to debug. Okay, so at this point, we brought in this, I think. I don't think we use auto grow anymore, so we can get rid of this. And what else? So Text area ref we do not need anymore. Trying to think of what else we got rid of here. So obviously we don't need this, so this will be interesting to try to figure out, but it is what it is. And let's see. Okay, I think that's fine. I don't think we need the current set post content anymore. We definitely don't need this console.log, so let's get rid of that. I don't know why activate is inside here. I think this is supposed to be active. So I think that's part of the reason why this is an issue. Yeah. Okay, so we just found a bug, so that's cool. This guy can be refactored. So instead of having this source, and I know I'm just doing a bunch of random stuff right now, but we can say states.logged or state.user.logged in, and this will have to be a question mark. Is it like this? Dot, and then we're gonna say profile picture question mark. So if there's a user logged in, and I don't know why, maybe it is like this. If there's a profile, picture, then we'll get the state.user. Let's actually do this. So we'll say this just to be safe, and state.user.logged-in.profile picture question mark. Then this is really ugly, state.user.logged-in.profile picture, and then dot, and this will be image URL. Otherwise, we're going to scroll up again. I know we're doing a whole bunch of stuff, and it doesn't look like I have the default profile picture, so let's import default PFP equal to or from. Let's go back to our assets. So all the way out here, assets.default PFP. Save that, come back down here, and it's still going to be default because I don't have anything, but this is something that needs to be fixed for a while now as well. So this will be great. So put default PFP there, and then it wants an alt, and we'll say curly braces, backticks, $, curly brace, and we'll say state.user.logged-in. Ooh. You know what? We're just gonna say users PFP because they might not be logged in. I'm not really doing very good checks, so I'm just gonna say users PFP. Okay, I'm beating around the bush here. Cool. So now I'm trying to think, what else is our content used in? So I think it's used to, this is using post content.length, but again, we can get that from the current post, right? So we can get a lot of this stuff when we factor it from the current post in the post slice. So I'm thinking that's what we probably do, is get it from the post slice instead of using this use state. So I'm curious what's going to break if we just get rid of this. And also, what is active using? So if we save, what breaks? So what's using post content right now? So this is setting post content nothing. So whenever we submit the post, we can set this to nothing anyway, so we don't need this. Okay, what else is broken from post content? So let's see. So return post content not equal to this. So we can literally go ahead and say state.post.current post and state.post.current post.content not equal to that. And I don't know why there's an or here. It does not like this. And then we can do the same thing. Let's copy this. This is kind of ugly, but I think it is what it is. I have no idea what's going on with this. I really don't want to touch it though. And I don't know. Okay, I'm not touching it. So that fixes that. We'll see if the activate's working. This we don't need then. I don't think we need a use effect then. So we can clean that up. And then there's one more post content here. So we might still have that pasted. So yeah, this, and then we'll do that. And this will be state.post.currentPost.content. So it's not as pretty, but it'll get the job done. I don't see how that's not possible, because it should be what do we want to do here? So we do this, I guess. So if there's a current post, that's going to be content. So we'll do this, and we'll do this. Otherwise, we do that, I guess. It'll just be 0. Again, this should never happen because we're always checking to make sure the post is there. So I don't know why that's complaining, but you know, it is what it is. And cool. So we'll see how broken this is now. I'm sure there's something broken with it. Free refresh. Okay, so this is definitely broken. This is still working though. Now it's worked. So what's going on here? So current post. So maybe this was the issue that we were fighting before. Is the button being on whenever it's not supposed to be? I'm wondering if it's disabled or not. Let's see if we can take a peek to see if it's disabled. So it's post active right now. And post active, I'm guessing, comes from up here. Went past it, I'm sure. One of these things I just touched over here. Yeah, activate button is equal to not this. So if there's no content, or there are no images, or the poll is undefined. I'm wondering if we wrap this, maybe? What is this guy going to? I don't know what that guy's going to, but maybe if we wrap this like this. Nope, it's still saying post. This makes sense. So we want the button to be active if... And I think the issue is whenever I did this, what is this issue now? Boolean or undefined? Let's get rid of this. Why does that all of a sudden get mad? Because it's saying it's not equal to undefined. So I'm thinking maybe we redo this. So let's just check first if state.post.currentPost, right? So if this is the case, we'll do some other checking. Otherwise, we'll just return false. So we're not going to be cute with this. We're going to take this and we're going to try to think about this in a simpler way. So the button should be not active. And it might actually be this button, this generate button class, that is partially breaking it, because this is post active and whatever. But here, now the button should at least be not active. So if we refresh, it's showing up as active, but it shouldn't be active. I can't tell if you click on it if anything happens. Did anything happen in the network? Let's refresh. No, I don't think anything happened in the network. So it is disabled. It just looks like it's active. So the class is also an issue. But right now, if there's no current post, it's disabled. And we can do something similar here. So if state.post.currentPost, we do something similar here. Otherwise, we'll return something else. So let's copy this. So we're gonna go through like multiple checks basically. And I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit just to make it easier to read. So like, first off, if none of this is true, we're gonna go and just return the not active. So let's copy this. And we're gonna have some other issues that have to work through, because I'm pretty sure the sidebar is not supposed to be there. But now this should at least be inactive. And then, yep. So now the other issue is that we're not supposed to be seeing this, I don't think. What does it even do? I don't even know what the plus button does. What does the plus button even do? Let's see. So this is just add. But what's it add? What does this do on Twitter? Oh, it lets you make multiple posts. Huh, interesting. Okay, anyway. So, if this and this, so yeah, this is the same thing. Do I need to, instead of this, do I need to wrap like these two, like this? So like we'll keep this like here. We'll say that, and then maybe if we wrap these, maybe it's just like a parentheses thing. And this episode's gonna be such a pain to edit later on. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. It's a parentheses thing. I don't know why it lets us deactivate it, which is strange. But again, that's a bug we can fix later. Okay, so now what we want to go ahead and do is this. So here, let's do this. So now we know that there's a post. So now we can say if state, and let's do this. We're gonna say let content string equal to state dot post, whoops, post dot current post dot content. So now we can probably do something similar to this, where return, and we can bring this back to our previous state, except I don't have the previous state. It was something like content not equal to an empty string. And then what is your problem? Type Boolean is not a type. Is this not? Oh, this is the button class. Okay. But now we can do something like this, I believe. And do this. So now we can have all those ors. Again, this is really ugly and I don't love the way I've done this. But let's see if the button class generates properly. So it should be empty. If there's no post at all, click on this, still empty. Cool. Okay, so that seems like it's good to go. That fixed it. We can do the same thing on this one. So again, we'll just let content be this. Do this, and then we can uncomment this. And now we can do one of these. I think we had this guy here originally. Content, I think we had dot length. Not equal to this. Maybe we didn't have this guy. How was this guy? Well, for one, we're not returning, so that might be the issue. And then we can do this, and I'm pretty sure we just had content.length. And this should be a function call. Number has, let's see. Expression is not callable. Type number has no call signatures. String.length number. Oh, because we're not checking the length, we're checking to see if it's an empty string. Duh. Okay. And I think theoretically this should also do the trick. So this one is supposed to activate the button. I don't want to actually make a post. Actually, we can make a post. Okay, that was making posts. So, okay, I have a bunch of empty posts. Let's try to make a post after updating the text box. So nothing happened. Let's refresh. Okay, so the button is disabled. If this, let the content equal to this. Wasn't this not though? Wasn't this knotted? So let's try again. Trying out the new text box. Okay, refresh. Cool, that's fine. These ones are scuffed. It is what it is. So that's working again. So that's good. So now what I want to do is, I think before we forget, I want to open up the feedpostcreator.css. I want to find this create text area, and I want to redo this. So here we'll probably just have this will probably still just be fit content and with 100% whatever, and just let it fit to where we need it. So we come into here, dot this guy with 100% and height fit content. I don't think there's anything else. We might add margin 0 and padding 0 just to be safe, right? And then I want to go through and look at what the CSS is on these. So this one is feed post creator post content. So let's copy this, and I'm going to rename this Actually, we'll just look in the feed post creator.css. So feed post creator post content. So feed post creator post content. So let's copy this guy. And I'm actually going to delete out of here so it's not in here anymore. We're going to go into our CSS for this and paste that. So now instead of feed post creator post content, this is going to be create post, and this will be text area content. So we're going to copy this and we're going to bring it into here and we're going to paste it in here. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing, feed post creator input and input active, which is going to be interesting because we need to pass in active, right? And I think active we were thinking about possibly moving in here anyway. So we'll see what happens. Let's find feed post creator input now. So come back into here. Now we want feed post creator input. So let's copy this guy. And we probably want this one as well. So let's copy, and we also want input active, and we can keep input active. And we also want this, I believe. So let's copy all these and we'll rename them. So here, paste this. So this will be create post text area, creator input, and let's copy this and change this to selection, and then input active can be the same. And I think we want this one as well for focus, outline none. Now we need to come into create text area, and we need to say, do I still have this? I do. Input active, do that. And now let's see how broken this is. Okay, yes, we're definitely missing something. So let's see. Create text area creator input. Create post text area creator inputs. Let's see. It's definitely this text box that's broken. Wait a second. Let me go to the right thing. Let's try this first. Import / create post text area.css. Before I go crazy, just want to make sure. And create post text area.css. I misspelled something. Rename this to text area. Save that. There we go. Much better. So I think the issue is that active pops up this guy. What else does active do is the question. I mean, it opens this up, but realistically, all it's doing is focusing on this. How even setting active in here is the question. So instead of active, we could check to see if we have a current post, right? I think we can get rid of this and check to see if we have a current post, and we can completely get rid of active everywhere. Although this does have an on-click on it that calls activate. But I mean, that can still just initialize stuff. We don't necessarily need active, I don't think. I think we can go ahead and say, if I could actually highlight state.post.currentPost question mark. And we test this because whenever we click on activate, it should create a post, right? Yeah. So that will more or less activate it. So we can get rid of active here and do the same thing here. So we're already looking here too for a state.currentPost instead of active. So I'm gonna go and get rid of active because I don't think we need it, honestly. Save that. It's gonna break some stuff here, but that's fine. We can just check to see if, literally we can say if state.post.currentPost is equal to undefined. Then we can go ahead and also check to see if there's a user. And state.user. Well, I guess we could just do this, right? We can just check if there's a current post and if there's a logged in user. And then we can get rid of this. And we can just go ahead and dispatch P. We can clean this up a lot, actually. So let's just clean this up a little bit. And now we just need to look for where all the actives are. So set active can go away. We don't need that. Where else do we have active? So a lot of things that count on active, we can just check to see, like here, we don't need this at all. And we'll fix that in the create post text area. And here again, we can just say, hey, is our state.post.currentPost undefined? Yes or no? And I think that's everything. So now back into our text area, we can go ahead and get rid of this. So this cleans this up. I like that. Not that passing props is bad. I just like the cleanness of this. And I'm trying to kind of get rid of a bunch of stuff we don't necessarily need. So here we have the state, so we can do the same exact thing. State.post.currentPost. If there's a current post, do this. And maybe this is gonna have issues down the road, I don't know. But I think that cleans this up pretty well. And if we did want to ever in the future, we could literally pull these out. So this just, I think, enables or disables. I don't actually know what this does. If the current post length is greater than 0, or that... Okay, it's going to show the image array. Okay. Same thing with there. It's going to show a poll if we have a poll. Okay, we can reuse some of that. That's fine. That code I'm not worried about reusing. It's more or less, I don't want to copy and paste all of these lines. So now the next thing that we need to do is do the bottom icons. And we need to figure out how we want to do this. Because right now we have a left and a right. And we need both, but they're kind of different. Although I think I might have this scuffed. Yeah, I think Twitter either changed this or it wasn't like this, but now it's like all the way to the side. And maybe is this the thing with the size of this? I'm not sure. Ooh, you know why? It's because of the cluster. which is kind of weird that it's like that. The cluster is slightly different. Okay, so I think I just want to refactor this left one. So the icons, because this is going to be the main thing. And I can just bring in the feed post created percentage guy. We don't need this divider, any of this in our other one. And then we can kind of play around with it. I would kind of like to fix the CSS on this because this is kind of scuffed. It doesn't do exactly what I want to do, but I'm not that concerned about that right at this moment. I want to just get the reply kind of working. But then we can also do a custom button specifically for creating a reply rather than creating a post, even though we're sharing the same state. And if I really wanted to, and if I was worried about it, I could probably create a state specifically for the reply, but I'm not that worried about it. Again, we're going to see what happens. Worst case scenario, it writes to both of these and it's scuffed. So we'll see what happens, or you might not even be able to see it. So I think we're going to take from here down. So this feed post creator icon's left. So let's go ahead and come into here and make a new folder, and I'm going to call this create post. And what do we want to call this? I guess button cluster, maybe. Kind of a lengthy name, but whatever. Create post button cluster .tsx, and make a new file, create post button cluster CSS, and let's just import React from React, and this is going to clean up our feed post creator a lot, which is nice. And I should have thought about the fact that we're probably going to need to use this post create in other places, but I didn't really think about it. That's my bad. Import dot slash, and this is create post button cluster dot CSS, export const create post button cluster react.fc. It's not going to take any props at this point. Could change. Return a div. Class name equal to, and this will be create post button cluster. And I spelled this wrong. Of course I did. Cluster. That's spelled right. Cool. So I think I can take what's actually inside of this. So instead of calling this icons left, I'm just gonna take this because I'm pretty sure that this icons border and whatnot is gonna be what splits it in half. So take this guy, copy it, and I'm not gonna delete it yet. I'll rip bozo it in a second. Let's go into our cluster. And now there's going to be a lot of broken stuff here. Yeah, so we need handle get image. So that's going to be fun. We need an image. We need to determine full. So that's going to be fun. And so yeah, so let's just start getting it, I guess. Getting after it. So again, this is going to clean up a lot of stuff inside of feed post creator. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of up to here. And this will be where we bring in our thingamajig. So this was a create post button cluster. Doesn't take anything right now. It's broken, I know. So the first thing that we need is handle get images. So let's find handle get images. So activate button, open. And this is going to be it's going to be a lot nicer. And this could probably be in like its own utility thing. Well, it can't actually because that has a dispatch. Just kidding. So But let's copy this, clean this up a little bit. So bring this guy in, and then we'll need to bring in some stuff. So looks like we need state. We have overloaded images, which is we might be able to get away with. Although I think this might be a challenge. So I think the way that we do this is, I don't think we actually, let me think. So I don't think we actually, let's see. Although we do get it from current post images. So yeah, I don't know if we need this. We'll have to see where overloaded images comes from. But what do we use this overloaded images for? It's declared but never read. We don't use it for anything then? I think it's just used to enable and disable this guy. Maybe inside determine full or something. Is it used in determine full? No. Huh. Weird. I guess we don't even use it. So, honestly, I'm just going to get rid of it. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. That and this. Okay. So now we need this ref. So once again, I'm going to yoink the ref out of here. Let's grab our image selector ref. We're going to also need to import the ref, so we'll deal with that in a second. So come in here, do this, price, do this, import ref, use ref. Okay, and we do need to go ahead and import our use selector and our use dispatch. These are definitely being used, so use dispatch, and we'll import our app dispatch. And our root states. Root states. Now, these are things I probably could have passed as props, but I really don't want to set up props for this, so it's fine. Then we just call it state again. Const state is equal to use selector. And state root states. And I think we just return state. So that'll fix that. That actually fixes a lot of stuff. We just need to set up our app dispatch. Const dispatch. App dispatch is equal to use dispatch. Okay, so that fixes up a bit of stuff. We just need to import this update post images. I'm not sure why we needed that other thing. It doesn't look like we're using it. We'll see what happens whenever I start adding images again. Okay. So yeah, because this isn't even being used anyway. So update that. So now we need determine full. Yep, so let's bring in determine full from our feed post creator. So I just saw it. Okay, so this is broken. So that's just setting the current on our... So this will be an interesting thing to fix. But we'll get there. Okay, let's bring in determine full. Determine full may or may not work, we'll see. But it just looks like it's looking inside the state, so that's fine. And then I think we just need to bring in like some of these things. So import media GIF. Import GIF SVG, import pull SVG, And then we'll also need to create these modal opening things, but these are just dispatch functions basically. If I really want to, I could really simplify these by just dispatching stuff. But now I can come in here. We can bring in this. Do I need generate poll? Do I use generate poll? I do use generate poll. So let's grab these two for sure. It's gonna be more than I need to grab. But paste those two. And we need to go ahead and grab these from our dispatch. So activate shoot. Okay. So we have an issue. First big issue. Do we want to bring the activate? Well, we don't want to bring activate in here, right? The other thing we could do yeah, this is an issue. Guess we could pass activate. I don't know if that'll hurt anything. But is that the best way to do this? Trying to think. Or it'd be better just to, because you're, why don't we just get rid of this? It's not going to work yet. So let's actually comment this out for the time being. And we're going to come back to it once we get this compiled. Okay, we need open emoji and open schedule. This is cleaning this up pretty well, actually. Okay. Bring these in. Okay, it compiles. So now what I'm thinking is, since we have an on-click on that area, what if we basically invert this? So if we say there is a current post, and if there is a current post, we dispatch create poll. And bring this guy in. What if we do this instead? This might not work. And I think we are already bringing in... Yeah, we already have the create button cluster. CSS is not working. That's terrific. But if we click on like poll... Okay. Also, not even clicking on this activated it. Okay. Let's see. Back to feed post creator. So on clicked activate still there. Let's look at activate again. So activate is just if there's a current post. This should be not, right? If not current post. And there's a logged in user. Okay. Now if we click in here. Okay, it works. What if we click on poll? So nothing should happen at first. Well, I'm going to click on poll. It actually works more smoothly than... Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's what we want to do. So that That simplifies things a lot. I like that. Now, obviously, the CSS is scuffed. Also, this is super scuffed. I think it's because this create post button cluster doesn't have the whatever it's called on it. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna, instead of doing it the way that I had it, which is a little bit on the scuff side, I'm gonna go ahead and say width is fit content. Same with height is fit content. And then what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna have a display flex on it. And we're going to justify content space evenly. We're gonna align items in the center. Now this probably won't do exactly what we want, but what we can do, that looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. That actually looks pretty darn good. Although what we might actually do is make this flex start, because I think in the actual post itself, it lines up basically with the text. So I'm going to go ahead and say flex start on this. And we're going to add a row gap. That didn't change anything. I think there might be a padding or something. Also, let's double check something. Let's make sure. It might be this icons doing it actually. I don't know what this icons is doing. But I kind of like the spacing on that. Let's check what this icons is doing. Feed post creator bottom icons. Feed post creator bottom icons. There's just a padding left on it. Although it could be the space between. It's probably the space between. Honestly, it's such a small thing that I'm not that concerned about it. I think it still looks pretty nice, and I should be able to put this basically wherever I want. And I like the spacing on it. Now this is gonna be the fun part, is getting all of this stuff into that CSS file. So first what we need to do is this feed post creator icon BG media. And I think that these are supposed to be like this. So let me clean this up really quick. I don't want all of this to be in the video, but I don't want this to be ugly because this looks horrible. Okay. Alright, so let's just clean this up a little bit. I'm sure there's probably a way to unindent this with VS Code. I just don't know what it is to do it fast. Oh, this should be like this. The good news is that we're almost through the refactor, so. And then we can start working. Probably won't get it done tonight, obviously. But we can start working on getting the reply working. Okay, that's cleaned up. So now let's start with this feed post creator icon BG media. So feed post creator icon BG media. Icon BG. I don't even see an icon BG media. Let's go ahead and just copy it, I guess. Copy this and control find it. Doesn't exist. Interesting. So this does nothing? Question mark? So this class does nothing, I don't think. So if we take that class off, does anything change? No. Okay, cool. Now we need feed post creator file update. Does this one actually have a class to it? This one also has no class to it. Okay, so we're really cleaning this up. So let's get rid of this class name. Although I have a hard... Well, actually, it's hidden. Yeah, it's hidden. That's probably why. Okay, this one's got to have something, right? So feed post creator icon BG. So let's go into feed post creator.css. Yes, this one does have one. So let's go ahead and copy this. Delete it. And come back into the CSS. Dot this. And this will be... We're going to make this create post button cluster. So create post button cluster. If I could type, I'm going to call this and then icon BG like this. Let's copy this, bring this guy into the button cluster, and I think this might be the same on all of these. So this will be a pretty easy fix here at the very least, so that's nice. And we can just bring in icon active individually. That'll probably be fine. This comes in here. This comes in here. Okay, let's bring in icon active from our feed post creator. So icon active hover. Doesn't look like there's anything else in here, so that's fine. Save this, come back into here. Paste that, okay. And then we had location, which is a little bit different. So copy this and let's look for it in here. Here's a location. Copy this, save. And let's close out of this. Come back to our cluster.css. Do this, and then of course this will be create post cluster or button cluster location. Grab the location and we'll put it here. Now it's time to see if I broke the CSS. Okay, so this location is slightly different. So what's going on with location? Slightly higher. Create post button cluster location. And this is all that was on there. Oh, you know what? I think it's because of the height and width. So I'm going to make this slightly bigger. So where's the BG at? So this is... Oh, wait, it is bigger. 34 by 34. I'm going to add that to here. 34, 30... Actually, no, I don't want it there, right? I think this needs a display flex on it. I don't know why it doesn't have a display. Oh, it does have a display flex. Did I not save? I didn't save. You love that. Cool. So that's good to go. Make sure these still work. That pops that up. Search GIFs. A little bit slow, but it pops up. Emojis pops up. That pops up. Poll creates a poll. So I don't know if my images still work. Let me see. Let me go into... Okay, that seems to work still. Cool. So that's all good. So now theoretically, since this is up and running, what we can do is more or less kind of build this out with the pieces that we need. So we obviously don't need the audience drop down Images we'd probably want. And current post, let's see, feed post restriction we don't need. What else do we see here? I don't think it has a border on the bottom. Yeah, there's no border. And that's going to go into a different section anyway. So I guess let's just go and let's go into, we can close out of this. And I'm probably going to need to do some more testing to see if everything's working. But now what we can basically do, so the body reply, it looks like kind of a left and a right. But we can deal with that. So that'll actually be pretty simple. All we'd have to do is we need an image, and this will be src equal to, and this one will be logged in user. So I don't know if I have a logged in user in here. That's that post. So maybe we say const user is equal to use selector state root state. Whoops. And we say state dot user dot logged in. And of course this could be undefined, so we'll have to check. So we can say, we'll say user and we'll say user dot profile picture question mark. If there is, we'll say user dot profile picture dot URL. Otherwise, we'll use that default PFP again, and then alt, we'll do the same thing. Alt is equal to, and again, this is kind of annoying. We'll say user, user question mark. If that's the case, we'll do backticks, $, curly brace, we'll say user dot, and then I guess we'll just say username, apostrophe S, PFP. Otherwise, we'll just say user PFP. There shouldn't ever be a point where the user's not logged in and they're creating a reply. Although we should probably make sure we can log that down. Now that I think about it, that's something we'll do later. So we have the user's profile picture in there. So we go ahead and reply. It's massive, but it's there. And then on the right side of it, we want the what's it called? Create post text box, I think. Create post text area. I don't think it takes anything. And then we can have the text area beside it. Says what's happening. And I don't think we need anything else. The only thing is, like, obviously we want active. This is what I want to see. Okay. That's what I was worried about. That is exactly what I was worried about. One, I don't know why it's not showing up inside of this. At the very least, because you can see that it's typing. Shoot, you know what? No, that wouldn't make sense. I want to check the CSS for this. The post area CSS. Okay, where's the part where we actually, the content, the index 100. That should be plenty high. I'm trying to see which one's the hidden one. This is the hidden one. Yeah, so this is the index like -10. Why? I don't know why that's the index -10. Is there a reason behind this? Doesn't seem like there's reason behind it, but this is obviously scuffed. I don't know why those aren't lined up. I guess let's figure out what's going on with this guy, and then we'll go from there. So I don't think we need the C index anymore. I'm not going to delete it yet, just in case we do need it back. Position absolute. It should still be inside, although... do we need to say position on this is relative? Yeah, okay, that fixed that. Cool. So yeah, so the issue here is that these two are linked up to the same thing. The easy way to fix this would be the incorrect way, which would be move the modal box up and do it that way. That would be the easy way to do it. But that would be the incorrect way to do it, because that's not how we should deal with this. So that's what I was worried about, which was why I kind of wanted to inside the text area instead of using the state and dispatching the state every time. Instead of updating the current post every time. Although the issue is, how are we going to... because here's the other option. We could create another post in here. Call it reply. And then pass in where those are getting created from. Which will kind of be gross. So I'm trying to think of what other options we have. Because we need a way to get the content from this text area into the button that's going to be in a completely separate area. That's the issue. So I'm trying to think what the best solution for this would be. Because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that a reply is also a post. So if we look at the create reply DTO, it takes an application user. I guess it takes in the original post, the content. Maybe we... trying to think if we do want to create a reply in the post slice. So what does a reply look like from the DTO side? So as a poll, a scheduled date, scheduled images, the reply content, the original post. So what we could do is come into our global interfaces, and wherever our post is, we can do it like below our post or something. So here's our post. So we could say export interface reply, and the reply, I don't really care what the reply ID is. It's gonna have original post, which is a post. What else is it gonna have? It's gonna have the author, the user, it's gonna have the content. So we'll say content, Although we want to call this reply content because I want to match up with the DTO on the back end. We'll have images, which will be post image array, which will probably be empty most of the time. We'll have scheduled. Still blows my mind that you can even have scheduled. We'll need scheduled date, which is a date. And I think this can be optional as well. So we'll go and make that optional. And then finally we'll have a poll, which is a poll, which is also optional. So there's that. So we have a reply. So I think just in our post slice, let's go ahead and make a current reply. And this will be a type reply, like so. And then here, the current reply will be, do we want to make this undefined or undefined? Because right now our current post is that or undefined. So let's go ahead and say or undefined. And then we'll start out as undefined. Cool. So now we will want a create reply body or something like that, or create reply payload. So I'm gonna go ahead and make an interface create reply payload, and the create reply payload will have the post. So this will be the original post, and it'll have the user, and this will be a user. I think that's all we need to get from the post itself, because the rest of it is going to be generated whenever we create it. And now what we can do is we're going to do something very similar to generate post and generate update post. So we have initialize current post. So we're going to have an initialize, and let's say spell it. No, it's not. Init. Initialize, spelling is hard, reply, state, action, and this will be a payload. Action of create reply payload. I might want to rename this to generate reply payload, because we're not really creating the reply, we're generating it on the back end or on the front end. So I'm going to go ahead and name this generate reply payload. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and say state is equal to ... state. And we're going to go ahead and say that state actually will say reply is a new object, and I forget what this has on it, but I think it has the original post and a couple other things. So reply does not exist, it's current reply. Oops. Current reply. I forget what's on this. So this needs author. Author will be action.payload.user. Then we also need, I think, the original post. Yep, original post will be action.payload.post. Then we need content, I think. Let's see. So now we need reply content. Reply content will be an empty string to initialize. And then we need images, which will be empty array. And then we need, let's see. So scheduled is missing type, so we can go ahead and say scheduled, and this will start out as false, and then the rest are optional, so that's fine. And then we can do this, also return the state. Okay, so there's that. And then we can also update the current post. So it's going to be, we could probably still use the update post payload, and it'll probably be fine. So I'm going to copy, well, I'm not going to copy it. I'll not be lazy. Update current reply, state action. This will be a payload action. I'll go ahead and just use the update post payload because it's just a name and property or something like that. I guess I can check to make sure it exists. State dot current reply, as long as there's a current reply. State is equal to dot state, and ooh, I see why we did this. So I might do it the same exact way. State dot current reply is equal to state dot current reply, and then we'll do the same thing. Action dot payload dot name, action dot payload dot value. And we can just pass in whatever. We return state. And then all we need to do is 1, make sure we have our comma here, and 2, come down here and add those in. So we added initialize current reply and update current reply. So now this should fix this issue. So we come back into our text area. So now we are going to need to go ahead and set up an interface again. So interface, and this will be, what do we want to call this? I'll just call this create post text area props. And this for now will just have a string, which will be location string. And if this gets too crazy, we can do some like crazy factories and stuff like that. But for now, we can just go and have 2 different locations. So now we can say if, appreciate you, thanks for stopping by. If location is equal to feed post, we'll go ahead and do this. And honestly, we could probably just say post. Location is post, do this. If location equal to reply, then we're going to dispatch. We're going to dispatch update reply, update current reply, and the name of the property will be reply content, I believe, and value will be e.target.value. That's fine. e.target.value. Now, I think we do need a temporary state here for like whatever this specific item's holding. That way here the value will be whatever the value of the post content is. And it might get a little finicky, we'll see. But let's go ahead and set up a use state again. So full circle from earlier, I thought this would be an issue, but I didn't know for sure until we tested it. Const content set content for the use state string got the empty, and then what we'll do, so I'll copy this and this part's fine. We'll add this, we'll say content here, and we can just add content there, I believe. And we'll see how much of an issue this is going to be. We might have to debug it later. So now what we can do is, let me think. So we have content. We can still check inside the other thing. So we're going to do a little bit of work inside of the cluster. But that's also fine to determine whether or not it should be active. And maybe a little bit of work also. Well, the button inside of the feed post creator should be fine. Now if we go back into feed post creator first. Looks like I have it closed, so let's open up feed post creator. It should be complaining right now. Feed post creator.csx. So this location will equal to post. And then in this one, so the create reply body, this location will equal to reply. So now if I type in here, hopefully it doesn't type in here. Nothing's happening because I'm not setting it. So let's go back into our create text area. And I guess here, on change and auto grow. Auto grow will go ahead. And auto grow will go ahead and say set content to e.target.value. And there's a lot of moving parts that can go wrong here, so I'm sure something's gonna break. Okay, so it's moving. Content, convert content, creator, values content. Is content coming from something else? No, content should be getting set. Let's console.log to make sure content is in fact getting set. Gosh darn it. Okay, I don't care about that. Okay, content is being set. Let's do the same thing up here. This one's working. But the reply... Oh, now it's working. Weird. Maybe need to refresh? I don't know. Let's try one last time. Click in here, go to reply. Does it have something to do? Let's see. Let's take a look. So text area, content. Set content, activate, auto grow. We're setting content, so that's fine. Because value is showing up. But this is not showing up. Which is strange. Even though we have content. Oh, you know what? That's why. Also, we need to set it up so whenever we click on this. Okay, what's happening with this now? This part's fine. Typing in here is scuffed. Let's refresh. And click on reply. So is that to do with active? I don't think so. Trying to think what could be doing this one. What if we do this? I wonder if like the class isn't being set properly. So this one's working whenever we create this, that's fine. Click on this, type in here. It's working fine, but if we refresh, what happens? Yeah, it doesn't. Type in here. It's fine. So it's acting. Oh, here. What if we said one of these two, state dot post dot current reply? What if we say one of these two? The only thing is we don't have any way of creating the reply right now, so we need to, whenever we click on this, create the reply. So let's go into really quick our post. I know we're going all over the place right now. And let's go ahead and whenever we toggle reply, we're going to dispatch. We're going to dispatch initialize current reply. And we need the post and we need the logged in user. Do I have the logged in user? I have the author of the post. So that means I either need to pass the user in here, which I probably have in our feed. So I'm assuming this is just used in feed. So let's look in feed really quick. Feed user logged in. Yeah, I have. And it should be logged in. So let's do this. So here we have our post and we're gonna have, that kind of seems like a silly way to do this. The other option is to use a use effect to get the user whenever we open up the reply. And also the current post. From the state, I guess. We could do that. So create reply body. This might not be. We should already have the current post and the logged in user. Yeah, that would be a much easier way to do this. Use effect. Whoops. We're gonna watch for the post ID to change and the user ID to change. If the post and user, if both of these, then we're gonna go ahead and initialize. We need to get a dispatch in here. Const dispatch app dispatch is equal to use dispatch. Okay, and we're gonna dispatch a initialize current reply. This is gonna take in the author, I think, or the post, which is just post and user. which kind of just works out, I guess. So now whenever this opens up, it should theoretically initialize this. And I'm trying to wrap this up here at a decent spot. So if we refresh, if someone clicks on this reply, it should pop this up. Voila, it works. Cool, so that's good. The last thing, and as you can notice, it's not typing up here. Come in here, you can type. Now on close, we probably want to delete that because now I'm wondering if we come in here, it's probably going to already have this. So I'm going to return, and we might want a really quick function in here. I don't know if there's a remove current or whatever, but I want to, although never mind, it reinitializes it every time, so it's fine. That'll be fine. I'm not worried about it then. Now, what do we want to do? I would have liked to get the bottom bar in, but it's gonna need a whole other piece, so it's gonna need, and the issue is gonna be, I guess we could probably still use current post images and stuff like that. The bottom bar is gonna be kind of finicky, it's gonna take some more work, but let's just make a new folder really quick. Okay, create reply bottom, make a new file, create reply bottom.tsx, make a new file, create reply bottom.css. Okay, import React from React. Now I'm close, Ethan. It's getting pretty late, I'm getting tired. And import the CSS / create reply bottom.css, export const create reply bottom dot react.fc. Just kind of want to crank out this bottom really quick. Should be pretty simple for the most part. Return a div, the class name equal to create reply bottom, and this is basically just going to have our create post button cluster. I don't remember if it takes anything. It doesn't. We're gonna have to refactor the button cluster a little bit to get it to work here. We'll need a button, the class name equal to submit reply button, and then this will be reply. We're going to do some logic on enabling and disabling this button. It'll be probably pretty similar to the other one, so we're probably gonna also refactor some of the stuff inside of feed post query that enables and disables the button. But oh, we need to add it, so let's go into our create reply, and now bottom, we create reply bottom, and now it's going to be scuffed. React hook not found, create reply bottom.css. I think I put an extra S in there, or a T in there. Okay, now it compiles. Now obviously we want these over to the left, but now those are in there. The reply go to the right. So now all we gotta do is, one, we need to we'll need to basically refactor the way these are working a little bit. And I'm starting to wonder if we want to completely rework the way our post section's working. Just because I think instead of holding on to like an entire post. Maybe we just hold on to just individual components of a post, and then we could kind of piece together different things. So we could have like reply content, or we can have post content. We could have images in general. Now the only issue again, I guess, would be, I'm wondering if we do this and we just grab an image, is it gonna pop up in there? Yeah. So this is the same issue that we had before. So again, we might have to split it into two. So, but I don't want to make a whole new slice just for replies, because they're pretty closely related. But I think that's gonna be it. We've been going for almost 2 hours strong here. It's gonna be a pretty long episode probably. I mean, I do have some stuff to edit out, but again, if you guys have watched to this point, I definitely appreciate it. We're inching closer and closer to the finish line here. It doesn't look like we're getting much done, but we are. So we're going to continue working, keep grinding. So I appreciate everyone for stopping by, especially if you made it this far. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you want to watch the previous episodes, there's a playlist down below, and I appreciate all the support. But I'll see you guys in the next episode on live stream. Have a great one, and yeah, see ya.